I'm very pleased to be joined on the line right now by the secretary for the Merritt Centennials Booster Club. We've got Rusty Brewer with us. Rusty, first off, thanks for taking the time to chat this morning.
No problem, Brian. I'm glad to do it.
So, big meeting obviously coming up for the Booster Club tonight. It's the AGM. Before we get into the details about that, maybe for people who don't know, what exactly is the Booster Club and what does it do?
The Booster Club is a very strong, hard-working group of people that tries to raise money to help with the running of the hockey club. And in this day and age when money is really hard to raise, everything we do is really important, and we try and take on as many functions as we can to help out and support the hockey club. And
that's because both the Centennials and the Booster Club are both non-profit entities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Now, how about the meeting tonight? What sort of things do you expect are going to happen? What's on the agenda for the meeting itself?
Well, the agenda basically is just kind of year-end reports, and we reflect over what we've done and possibly look at some new things that we could do. And the big thing is that we're really, really in desperate need of some new members, and we're trying to recruit some younger people. You know, the average age is probably 60 or better in our club right now, and some of us are just getting a little tired. So we really, really need people to come out and support the hockey club through the Booster Club. They don't have to come to meetings. That's not the ultimate thing. If they just want to put their name in and can be called when we need somebody to help out, that's okay too. We'll take it however it works.
And that means necessarily that there isn't a minimum amount of volunteering that needs to happen.
No. We need, like lots of times people are away during the summer, so having extra members covers that so people don't feel uncomfortable about taking a weekend off and going on a holiday. Poor Betty hardly ever gets any time off. She restricts her life to the activities of the Booster Club, which is unfortunate.
And I guess the reason why I bring it up is because coming to the meeting tonight doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be committed to having a position on the executive or anything like that.
Absolutely not. Actually, for the last few years, the executive has remained much the same, and it's not an expectation that we expect new people to step up into an executive position. We just need some willing hands to help us out when we've got a function going on.
And is there any sort of criteria to join the Booster Club to help out?
Absolutely none. Just a willingness and a love of the Merritt Centennials like most of us have, just to be able to come out. Like we've got a pancake breakfast coming up on the long weekend in September, and we need many hands to do that.
And how about when there is a game? Is the Booster Club heavily involved on game night as well?
Absolutely. Yep. Most of us work there, either in the Booster Club booth or we work at the gate, or we're doing printing lineups for the program and stuff like that. And we've got room for more people who want to do that as well. It gives you free entrance into the hockey game once your little job is done, but we can always use extra volunteers.
That's what I was going to say, is that one of the big benefits, it's kind of twofold, is that you get to help out the team in terms of volunteering, and also you get to watch the game, which is a real benefit too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no kidding. So you mentioned that you don't anticipate any changes at the executive level with the Booster Club AGM tonight. Does that mean that there's no room on the board for anyone who does want to get involved at that level?
Oh, no, I'm not saying there isn't room. We might have a couple of changes at the executive level, but we need, we have the executive, and then the rest of the people are directors, and there's always room for directors.
Okay, and is that a different role than just being a volunteer?
No, pretty much everybody that isn't on the executive is a director, and they're what the volunteers are.
Oh, okay. Now, is the Booster Club in any situation where it's seen some of the fundraising that it's done over the last year drop a lot from last year, or is it about the same, or where is it at from one year to the other?
Well, I don't think we've had as many functions this year as we've had in the past years. There's other people now in the catering business, and there's other people doing things like ball tournaments and stuff like that, and it's getting quite competitive. So actually, yeah, we're down a little bit, but we still have the basic things that we do, like Canada Day and the long weekend in September, and we have lots of bookings for Christmas dinners.
Right, and weddings and that kind of thing, I would think,
exactly.
too. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's the overall status of the club? Is it in good shape when it comes to the Booster Club, and how important is it to the operation of the hockey team?
Well, I've heard said over the years that if it wasn't for the Booster Club, the hockey team wouldn't be here. And I'm thinking that's probably true. We contribute significantly to ice costs and bus travel and things like that. There's certain things that we can't support, like billeting, but we can support the ice and things like that, and those are huge expenses.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and we do apply for direct access, and at one time we were getting fairly big chunks of money, and now that's kind of watered down. We're not getting what we used to, so we try to get more functions to add to that.
Okay. And that's where I would guess the need for the manpower comes in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I say, we've got people that are in their 80s in this booster club, and they just can't put in the long days like some of the rest of us can. So, you know what, even if you can put in a couple hours or put in 4 hours.
Well, and that's what I was thinking, is that for anyone who hears this right now that isn't even able to make the AGM tonight, but is still interested in maybe joining and helping out with the booster club, that's possible.
Absolutely. I mean, they can get a hold of Betty Doberstein or myself. We're on the webpage, or even when the season starts. Betty and I are at the front gate. You're interested in helping out, even if it's just 4 hours or 2 hours, we'll take your name. Absolutely.
Well, and I guess that's how the old saying goes, right? Is that that many hands makes for less work for everyone. So.
Absolutely, and there's always lots of work. This is a busy, active club in a small community, and we have to work hard to keep our team here.
Well, and the other thing I want to mention, too, is that it really seems to me, when it comes to the Booster Club, that there's a real sense of camaraderie, too. It's not just volunteering and helping out. It's a lot of fun, too.
Absolutely, and we have a couple of annual barbecues with all the volunteers. It's just a fun thing, and we get together and we see each other a lot socially, and we do other things together. So it's like being part of a family.
All right, 7 o'clock tonight is the AGM over there at Ska-Lu-La. Before I let you go, Rusty, anything else that you want to add?
I don't think so. Please come out and support us. We can always use the extra hands, and we're at 1775 Coldwater at the Ska-Lu-La Workshop.
And that's where I'll cut it off.